If you have had a bad ballot number in the year 2025 for your new property purchase, or if you're interested in getting a new property in 2026, you need to watch this. Hi everyone, this is Kevin from Smart Choice Homes here. Today, as promised, I'm going to do a look into all the upcoming new launches of the year 2026. Now, bear in mind that some of this information some of it are still very subject to confirmation. They're still tentative, but I'll share what we know now. At least the tentative parts are really more about the dates, yeah. But in terms of the location, the land price, those are information that are all confirmed already. Yeah. So without further ado, let's start. So these are the projects in the pipeline for the year 2026. Those highlighted in pink are the ones that are coming in the first half of 2026. So they are a lot more relevant for today's video because I will go through them in a little more detail, each of the project, but obviously not to the level of my like the framework review. Yeah, not to the level because we also don't have enough of information to do that level of review yet. But as it goes, as time comes along, once we are closer to the project launch, then definitely we will do the framework review. In fact, I think Coastal Cabana I can probably do in like 1 or 2 weeks time. A lot of the information is already available for Coastal Cabana. So anyway, so the ones in pink, I will do a more detailed zoom in view in terms of like an overall view in terms of the timeline. All right. And at the end of this video, I will also talk about the other projects that come in the second half of 2026 that I think have potential. Yeah. All right. Let's move on. Okay, so these are the projects along with their launch date or rather preview date. So that's the date when you can start looking at the show flag and get all the details for the project itself, right? Or the projects itself. So the Coastal Cabana is the next one that's coming. Now I know that the preview is 6 to 21st December because of the way EC works, right? Its actual launch is actually 17th January 2026, and you'll probably get the full price list around 14 to 15, if I'm not wrong. Yeah. So that's for Costa Cabana. And you'll notice that the rest of the projects are actually sorted in the chronological order. Yeah, you have the chronological order coming basically based on which is launching first. So you have Newport, Narra, River Modern. If you watch my Zion Grand videos, you'll know which plot of land that is. Yeah. And then you have like Rivelle Tampines. This EC is also not too bad. And Pinery Residences. This was actually one of the projects I was looking at buying myself. Like before, I mean, now I've already bought my property recently, right? But Pinery and the former Thomson View, these two projects are the one that I shortlisted for myself as well. But yeah, because I didn't want it to wait too long. I didn't want it to wait so long because the risk of the price increasing is also there. So that's why I made my purchase this year. Yeah. Back then, even when I was looking at Pantown, I was already interested in Pinery Residences and also former Thomson View. But former Thomson View, there was a delay. You know. There was a delay because of the en bloc objection. But eventually, the objectors all withdrew their objections, and that's why it proceeded. And preview is second quarter 2026. Yeah. But this is still a very rough guideline. It may happen in July or even August, for example. Okay, now let's go and talk about the individual projects itself. No worries, I will be very fast in terms of me covering each of these projects because this is not like a framework review video. Yeah, this is just a quick look at all the upcoming launches in the year 2026. Okay, let's talk about Coastal Cabana next. So this is where Coastal Cabana will be, this plot of land over here. And it's actually right opposite the downtown east. So this whole area is the downtown east, the main shopping area, the restaurants, then you have the resort over here, right? And all the swimming activities, and beach is just right over here. Yeah, the beach and the sea, the Parcel beach, where is it? Yeah. So Parcel MRT, however, is not that near for this project. It's somewhere over here. Yeah, I'm not sure where it's. Over here. It's over here. So honestly speaking, it's not really walking distance. Come on, you have to go from here all the way to here, and think about it. When you go downtown east, I'm sure if you are a Singaporean, you have lived here, lived and born here, right? Definitely, you have gone to downtown east before. I mean, even a foreigner who has been here, I'm sure you have opportunities to go to downtown east as well. There will be team building activities or whatever the case is. So I have never heard of anyone who walked to downtown east from Pasir Ris MRT, because downtown east itself actually provides free shuttle bus service. So as a coastal Cabana resident, you get to enjoy the free shuttle bus service. So not bad lah. I mean, yes, there's no walking distance, but you actually do have a free shuttle bus service, and that free shuttle bus service is not something you can control, unfortunately, but it is offered by Downtown East, and I think it has been offered for quite some time now already. So yeah, you can enjoy that. And then the other factors would be obviously the Downtown East itself, the proximity to the sea and the beach, and also that means sea view. Yeah. So yes, I actually think that this EC is not too bad, and I don't want to talk too much about it here. I'll do a detailed framework video for this, so that will be the next video. Yeah, let's talk about the next project. Okay, so Newport Residences is over here. Look at this red little pin here. That's Newport Residences. Okay, so for Newport Residences, I think the biggest concern, right, would be that it's right from One Vernon, and One Vernon is famous for capital loss, not appreciation, loss, because developer actually sold the project at a huge discount. I think it was during a Chinese New Year promotion, and also because they were trying to finish their sales. So if you bought One Vernon before that, right, it's very painful, because developer, instead of helping you increase the price, developer actually lowered the price. So I know somebody calls it one something else, yeah. You should be able to know, right, based on the per and the num, but I don't mention it here. So basically, the main concern about Newport Residence would be capital appreciation, if you know about the One Vernon history. Now, for Newport Residence itself, we will have to see the entry price. The entry price is going to be the most important factor to see whether or not you will actually suffer that level of loss. Although, another thing is also that it's in the CCI area, so you don't really have a lot of upgraders. Okay, but I'll go through all this in detail when we do the framework review. I just want to talk about, if you put aside the One Vernon history, right, you look at the location itself, it's actually not too bad, because to MRT, it's an 8-minute walk. Okay, this is based on Google, not some fictitious figure. But okay, let's say if you take your time, I don't think it will take more than 11 minutes, right? But yes, there is a little bit of walking distance, but it's not too bad. Still barely acceptable for walking. In terms of driving, it's very convenient actually. You can just sit here and go straight to the MCE. Yeah, but that also brings me to the next point. For this project itself, it's going to be very noisy, because this Keppel flyover here is very crowded, very busy road. Not just the flyover, even the bottom part, the road itself, Keppel Road. And there's quite a number of heavy vehicles as well, because I myself have gone through this. I actually take this route semi-frequently to fetch my wife, so I'm very familiar with how crowded it is here. And on top of that, what else? Okay, so in terms of amenities, it's not too bad. You have 100 AM here. 100 AM has a decent amount of like famous stores, right? You have your Quesadilla, you have your Don Don Donki, Pullman Bakery. This bibimbap is new, but I've seen it in a few places. Minchen bibimbap. And okay, fun story. This 100 AM is actually where I met my wife. Yeah, the very first time I met my wife, I remember it was a cafe. So yeah, okay. But anyway, I won't digress too much about that. I won't talk too much about that. If you walk across the road, there's also the Yahua Bakote. This is nice also. But a bit more peppery than herbal, that kind of stuff. And if you are willing to go further down, right, there's actually a lot of stuff here in the Tanjong Pagar Plaza. There's a Cai Fan here that's nice. And you have your Fair Price. You go further down, there's actually a very nice ramen somewhere in the HDB area here as well. When you go further down, you have your Duxton, all the different eateries here, which actually is a lot of Korean barbecue. Got a lot of Korean restaurants here. It's like a little Korea. Rather than Chinatown, it's like a little Korean town. No joke, you go check it out when you have the time, yeah? So anyway, if you look at these factors, right, Newport isn't bad. Now the only problem is the history of One Vernon. So yeah, I'll talk more about Newport when when we do the actual framework review for this project. Right. Let's move on to the next project, which I think is Narra Residences. Okay, so interestingly, the next project, Narra Residences, is actually right beside the Dairy Farm Residences and the Dairy Farm Mall. But if you look at MRT options, right, it's not here. It's not there at all. Okay, look, Cashew is here, Hillview is here. It's very far away, man. It's way too far. So it is not walking distance at all. So that's number one. No walking distance to MRT. Next is the Dairy Farm Mall. Mall is quite new, but I have heard some complaints about the mall the patrons of the mall not being able to last. So that's a bit concerning. But I do believe that that part can be managed. We'll have to see how it goes. I'll talk more about it in the detailed the framework review for this project, Narra Residences. But there is an upside to this, which is the fact that because you're right beside an integrated, or okay, I shouldn't call it integrated, you're right beside a mixed development. You know, Dairy Farm Residences, I think back then there was a premium for the Dairy Farm Mall being connected to it per se. So being the project that's beside it, you will stand to gain better capital position, because for Dairy Farm Residences is very average. But for Narra, if the entry price is good, you actually get a chance for decent capital appreciation. It will be something like the Woodleigh Residences, you know, the one with the Woodleigh Mall, versus Park Colonial. That's a very good example where Park Colonial consistently outperforms Woodleigh Residences because you didn't have to pay that premium for the mall. But yet you're right beside. In fact, for Park Colonial, you still have to cross a road, a rather wide road. But for this, you're really right beside. So remains to be seen whether or not capital appreciation can be decent here. But in terms of MRT, yes, it's not near MRT at all. But at least you do get a mall here, the Dairy Farm Mall. Okay. Moving on to the next project. Okay, next up we have River Modern. Yeah, the Guaco Land Parcel, the one that was won by Guaco Land, the River Valley Green Parcel B. So it's actually this long stretch of land over here. And I know it shows Great West MRT station here, but there's actually an exit over here. And if you drive past now, right, you will see the land already being bordered up. You will see that it's very, very near to the Great West station. Like it's really, really right beside. It's like direct link. The moment you come out of the exit, you can enter into the River Modern immediately. I won't be surprised if there's a direct link as well. And River Valley Primary School is actually right beside you as well, right across the road. There's actually a traffic light here. You can just cross from River Modern, you come out, you just cross over the road, and it's River Valley Primary School. So the conveniences are definitely there, and obviously you have your Great World Shopping Mall over here too. Zion Grade is actually here. Yeah. So yes, I think River Modern does have the factors for it to be a successful project. Now the only thing is that the land price was high. It was 200 PSF, more than 200 PSF more than Zion Grade. Okay. So the entry price is the one that is going to be a difference maker. And do take note that this is also a mixed development where you have first level commercial. So the price, the entry price is going to be the most important factor on how good this project can perform, how good it will be. Likewise, for Zion Grand, just bear in mind that Zion Grand is also a mixed development with first level. So 200 plus PSF in terms of the land difference. Okay. But if you want your kids to go to River Valley Primary School, River Modern does have the advantage of like being right across the road, and also the Great West MRT station. So yes, this land does have its advantages. So I'll go into more detail about it when we do the framework review for it. Oh yes, for River Modern it's February. The estimated preview date, I think it's 20th February. Yeah, the latest update. I know the overview that I probably showed it as like 21st February, but right now the tentative date is 20th February. All of the dates are all tentative, by the way, because they are all very subject to approval from the regulations. Yeah. So anyway, for Narra and Newport, the preview will be in late January. or rather mid to late January. For the River Modern, it's late February because they will definitely avoid Chinese New Year period. So 20th February for River Modern. Let's talk about the next project. Okay, so just a quick recap about what we've covered, right? We covered Coastal, Cabana, Newport, Narra, and River Modern. Now we are going to move on to talk about Sophia Meadows. But for this project, right, because it's like a small freehold boutique kind of project, I don't really want to go into much detail, even at this point of this like upcoming new launch kind of look. But I'll say this though, Sophia Meadows and Duet and Emily, both of these projects are actually around the Mount Emily. And for Mount Emily, because my friend stays somewhere near there, he says that it's actually quite bad because there's always like people are doing drunk and being drunk there and also making noise and also couples quarrel. He also saw police coming to intervene, things like that. So that those are the things that he has actually really encountered at Mount Emily. So if you ask me, right, you pay the premium for a place like either the Sophia Road or the Dewey and Emily, which is even nearer to Mount Emily, and then you encounter these issues, it does not feel good. So for these two projects, even in this video, I'm not going to go through them in detail. Maybe when we do get more details in future, I might go through them. But yeah, I generally would not want to recommend freehold boutique projects, generally speaking. And that goes the same goes for the One Leonie Residences. Yeah, One Leonie Residences. This is actually right beside the OUE Twin Peaks, which is another project that is famous for capital loss. Like seriously, it's a lot of capital loss in that project because of the very high entry price. So yeah, these three projects, I'm not going to talk about that in this video, other than what I'm doing right now, this particular chapter here or section here. And likewise for this Lentor, I'm not going to go into detail as well. So we will focus on the rest of the bigger residential condo developments, yeah, private developments. Okay, let's move on. Next one, we are going to talk about two projects at the same time because these two projects are actually right beside each other in a sense. So you have Rivelle Tampines here, which is a EC, and you have Pinery Residences here, which is a mixed development. So in fact, Rivelle Tampines will be launching about the preview will be 1 month earlier than Pinery. So because of how EC works, right? In terms of the launch date, they might be even on the same weekend or like only 1 or 2 weeks difference. So yes, pretty close. Now for Rivelle Tampines, you will get to enjoy Pinery Residences commercial component while being a little further away from the MRT station. Or rather, I should use this, right? Because it's the Tampines West Station as it's C. So you are, in fact, for EC to be this close to MRT is already very rare. Okay, that's number one. Number two, you're also going to be able to enjoy the commercial portion of Pinery. It's very similar to the Parktown and Orel, right? So Rivelle Tampines, if you are able to buy a EC, definitely Rivelle will be the better choice if you ask me between the two. Because of the price point, right? The only thing is the restrictions in terms of like when you can sell. 10 years later you can sell, for another 5 years later you can sell Singapore and PR. Now for Rivelle Tampines, the only thing is, like I said, the restrictions for your EC. Because for EC, in order to buy EC, you must be able to meet the income ceiling, or not exceed the income ceiling, but at the same time have enough down payment to pay for the EC. So yes, that's a challenge here. But if you are able to do it, usually it's very clear, right? It's a PAP, it's a parent assisted purchase. So parents are helping you with down payment, usually. Okay. So if you're able to do that, go for Rivelle. I mean, if you're choosing between the two. Now, if you don't qualify for EC, Pinery Residences is still a very good choice. Like I said earlier when I was talking about the projects, right? Or the upcoming projects, right? In the pipeline. This was actually one of my shortlisted projects. This along with the former Thomson view. But at that point in time, I don't really have good information on like when Pinery Residences will be. So I also don't want to wait so long because I feel that the price increase is there. The longer you wait, the more price increase you lose. Okay, that's always one factor to also take into consideration. But for Pinery Residences, because it's going to be like March or April release, I think it's still okay, especially if you miss the current wave or the wave of launches that just passed us in November and October. You know, your Sky Holland, Penrith, Zion Tram, Banana Peak, etc. Okay, Banana Peak and River Green was like August, right? But yes, the second half of 2025 that you have missed, Pinery Residences is going to be a good choice, especially if you didn't manage to get a good ballot number. Please try for Pinery Residences. Even if you say like you don't like the East, I can tell you Pinery Residences is going to be probably one of the top launches of 2026. Yeah, no joke, no cap. Why? Because number one, you have your it has a mixed development component to it, but obviously that may increase the price a little, the entry price. So we have to see how the entry price will be. If you have an active lifestyle, you can go to Safra Tampines here. Okay, and you have a direct underground link to the Tampines West station here. This station SC is still under construction. It'll be part of the Pinery Residences where you can walk directly from the Tampines West MRT station gantry, you know, your MRT gantry, all the way to your Pinery Residences. Now, obviously, there will be a SC out of to level 1 here as well, and that's where your Rivelle comes in. Yeah, probably go up here, SC here, walk to Rivelle. Then for Pinery Residence, you go direct link. Now, the thing about Tampines, right, is that there is a tremendous amount of HDB here, huge HDB upgraded pool. And I like to call your attention to this stretch of land here where you have a few condos here, Santorini, Cube Residences, Tapestry, etc. So these few projects are actually famous for performing well, sorry. So they actually perform well, but they are not near to MRT, you know, not like Pinery. Pinery is doorstep. The stretch over there, they perform well despite not being near MRT, and I think for St. Hilda's it's like 1 km. I think they do have 1 km. Oh yeah, so Pinery has 1 km to St. Hilda's, and St. Hilda's is considered a good school. I think top 20. Yeah, they're about 20 or 30. So Rivelle, I'm not sure for Rivelle is it within 1 km, should be, but don't quote me on this. This has to be confirmed when we do get the more information on the projects. But for Pinery, yes, that's one of the reasons why I'm looking at it, right? Number one, you have your huge HDB upgrader pool, you have your resale performance already, and then you have, I mean, the nearby resale performance, you have your direct link to MRT station, you have your mixed development. Yeah, so this project was a project that I really wanted to go for as well, but timing wise couldn't meet. It took a little too long for my liking. If this was launched in 2025, this is the one I'm going to go for instead of Zion Grab. Seriously, at least in terms of capital appreciation. Living wise, I think it's not too bad. I can accept here because I sacrifice for myself, but my wife gets to enjoy this location. Let me put it that way, work wise. Okay, so yes, these are the two plots of land here, Rivelle, Tampines, and Pinery. Okay, let's move on. Okay, it's time for a little interlude. Please remember to contact me at this number so that I can help you with your next smart choice home purchase. Yeah, especially if you find my analysis and my insights, the way I'm doing my review, etc., is helpful to you, especially in terms of all the different projects. Please let me help you further with your actual purchase. All right. And please like and subscribe as well. It will help a lot in giving me motivation to do more and more of this. All right. Okay, thanks. Okay, next up we have Tengah Garden Avenue. So this one is an interesting one. It's actually a very low land bid price. And in fact, I forgot to mention the land bid price for the Pinery and the Rivelle, right? So Rivelle was 768, Pinery was 1,000. So both of these, in terms of PSF, PPR, is attractive. You know it's attractive because if you compare to like the Lakeside, the Big Bayshore, etc., both of which are all OCR as well, those are very attractive in terms of entry point and the developer price, the entry price provided by the developer should be much safer than those other projects that I mentioned. Now, going back to the Tengah Garden, this is also going to be a mixed development with first level commercial. And land bid price for this is also very low. It's 821, the PSF PPR. So this definitely has potential to be priced attractively. The only problem is that for Tengah, right, you do have quite a fair bit of like ECs, and then there's an EC here as well. So being if not wrong, it might be the first condo here, if I'm not wrong though. Don't quote me on this, okay? But either way, what's important here is that it's still near to the MRT station. In fact, it's near to the Hong Kong MRT station. This is on the Jurong region line. So for this project, right, given the low land price, mixed development part of it, the extremely close distance to MRT station as well, I think that's a potential too. Not to mention the whole like Tengah transformation thingy, right? So yes, this is a project I'll be interested to look at too, to keep an eye on as well. Now, too early to say whether it's like a top launch, but definitely potential is there. Okay, let's move on to the next one. It's too many I need to talk about. I need to be faster. Okay, next one is Media Circle Plaza A. So this is the one where it's right in front of Bloomsbury. And back then when Bloomsbury launched, right, everyone know about this plot of land being bidded at a lower price than Bloomsbury. So everyone expected that this will be better than Bloomsbury, which is why Bloomsbury sales kind of suffer in return. And it's by the same developer. So the fact that it's by the same developer, I actually think that even though the land price might be lower, developer might actually price this slightly higher than Bloomsbury in order to clear their Bloomsbury. Or maybe they go Hail Mary on this project and just give up on Bloomsbury. Maybe they'll price according to the land price in proportion. They sell more of this already, then maybe they will put Bloomsbury on sale to attract people. There are different sales that they can do to attract people. Now, the thing about this plot, this area, right? I need to call out that this plot of land was also open for tender. There was one bidder, and that bidder only bidded like 400 plus PSF PPR. So obviously government will not award this, right? I mean, come on, ECs are already going at 700 plus. So there's another plot of land here, also open for tender, no bidders. So this area is very risky to buy in this area for a capital appreciation per se. If you work maybe at Mediacorp, maybe you can consider that, right? But still not ideal. And not to mention, you gotta know that there's actually a upcoming Dover GLS plot of land that has really good potential. And let's say you work at this area, right, or be it Mediacorp or Grab. I think there's a Grab here, there's Razer here as well, and many other companies, right? Then this residential development is the one that makes a lot more sense because it has all the ingredients for it to be successful, unlike here where it's really a bit too ulu. Okay, although you can argue that like Linden Woods perform well, so they should perform well, but this is not near to MRT, and Bloomsbury performance we all know. So this particular plot of land, yeah. So anyway, I'll talk more about this probably when we have more details on it. When we do a favorite review for this. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Moving on. Okay. Next is the famous Bayshore GLS. I already referenced this a few times in my earlier videos, right? 1388 PSF PPR. This is going to be one of the reasons why OCR prices is going to be increased. I think it's going to increase significantly in future. Yeah. Now, for this, right, it's not even a case where like the first bidder bid much higher than the second bidder. It's not. The first bidder was like 1388. Second bidder was like 1370 plus. So it's actually very close. And there were 8 bidders for this land. So the demand, the developers can see the demand here. It's right beside the Bayshore MRT station. On top of that, the next MRT station, the Bedok South MRT station over here, is going to have a mixed development, or rather integrated development here. If I'm not wrong, integrated. Yeah. So yes, there's a lot of hype and potential for this Bayshore GLS, and I think it's within 1 km to the Temasek Primary School somewhere here. Okay, so yes, there's a lot of potential for this land, but given the very high bid price, we'll have to see how the entry price will be. Maybe developer willing to cut in their profit margin to get a foothold here, get a project that can definitely sell, for example. Okay, and not to mention it's right across ECP, right? Although it's the end of ECP really, ECP has a long stretch. So yes, this land definitely has its potential, and of course the sea view. So remains to be seen with the high entry price, the high land bid price, what the entry price will be. Okay, move on. Time to move on. Okay, next up we have Lentor Garden Residences, which is the plot line is actually here. I don't know why the red pin is over here, but anyway, the plot line is over here. So, lowest land price for all the Lentor projects. Right? Lentor, when it comes to Lentor, people always have the oversupply concern in mind, right? So it does have the lowest land price, 920. It might be within 1 km to the CHIJ St. Nicholas Girls' School, primary school, but remains to be seen, because it's the kind of case where maybe one block is within the range, then it's really up to government whether they want to allow the entire project to be considered as within 1 km to CHIJ St. Nicholas Primary School, Girls' School. So yeah, if it's not within 1 km to the school, it won't be able to compete with all the rest of the Lentor projects. That's number one. Number two, layout must be really good as well. Okay, when you have so many condos together, layout is very, very important. It's a huge distinguishing factor. It's a huge factor to be able to perform. Then the other thing is also the developer. This is the developer behind Normanton Park and Chuan Park. Normanton Park, they have a issue back then where they were almost hit with a no-sale license because of not adhering to something that government wanted them to adhere to, which is standard for all developers. That's number one. Number two, Chuan Park. They didn't have a no sale license issue where they can only sell after project's TOP. But what they did in Chuan Park was also something that I know a lot of Singaporeans do not like. It was a disgusting move, to be honest. But the sales that they achieved is going to give them the confidence to try it again. Because Chuan Park sales was good, right? Otherwise, why would Chuan Grove have such high land bid as well? So, for this particular case, I think there is a risk of the price being disgusting, that stunt again. But at the same time, because there's so many Lentor projects here, it's also possible that they will not do that stunt because they know that they have stiff competition here. So it remains to be seen. But for this developer, right, moving forward, or whenever I do framework review for their projects, right, I will definitely have to do like a separate price elevation chart just in case they do that stunt again. And if you don't know what the stunt is, it's very simple. From level 2 to level 3, there was a 150k jump. Okay, that's the stunt. So yeah, that is not something good for their own reputation. So I'm not sure why they choose to do it. So anyway, that's that. Let's see how the entry price will be and the layout, and whether it's within 1 km. These are the three most important factors to decide whether or not this project, can you still buy this project with so many Lentor projects here as well. Okay, moving on. Okay, we are at what may possibly be the most popular project of 2026. In fact, I'm very sure it's going to be one of the top few launches, and it's the Thomson View condo that is en bloc. So it's going to be en bloc and redeveloped, and it's this whole long curved stretch of land here. Upper Thomson MRT station is here, but there's actually an exit over here. Likewise, I think to the Thomson Plaza as well. So if the residential block that you're staying is here or here, it's actually very, very near to the MRT station. Okay, so you already have walking distance to the MRT station covered. There's a shopping mall right beside you, and it's a decent one, Thomson Plaza. They actually improved a lot. Like maybe 10 years ago, right, it was still kind of like those older shopping centers, but now they actually have a lot of good tenants, many newer kind of like eateries, restaurants, etc. You have your NTUC there too, and there's a few other unique stores that you will only see in the older shopping centers as well. So it's actually quite interesting. There's like a mix of like old and new kind of vibe in Thomson Plaza. And Omate is nice. I love the Chirashi don here. Yeah. And more importantly, you also have 1 km to Ai Tong, which is like one of the most coveted top primary schools in Singapore, right? So, and the MRT station is Thomson East Coast line, which I believe is going to be the most popular line in future because it also will have a direct link to Changi MRT station, Changi the airport. Then on the north side of it, there's the direct link to the RTS, the Singapore Woodlands link, so Singapore Johor link, sorry. And because it's at Upper Thomson, right, it's technically speaking an RCR region. So in terms of driving, you actually get to town very fast if you go via Lornie Road. Yeah, Lornie and Holland gets you to the Orchard. Driving times should be okay. Yeah. So like I said, this is going to be one of the most popular new launches in 2026 because the on-board price was also okay. It was 1178 PSF PPR. So it's very attractive. In fact, this was the project that I wanted to go for the most. Like if this was launched in end of 2025 versus like the first half of 2026, right? This is a project I'll go for over Zion Grand and even over Penrith as well. Because it has all the factors for it to be a perfect project. Now the only thing is obviously the internal part of it, right? Whether or not the developer will give you something disgusting like what? Okay, I shouldn't say disgusting but give you something like OCR level kind of furnishings and fittings for RCR project, for example. I hope they don't do that. Okay, so this project, the reason why I didn't wait for it was because there was an objection to the STB, the Strata Title Board, for the en bloc sale, which delayed the en bloc sale. And that objection, I think, lasted exactly half a year, which means the difference from like end 2025 to the 2026 first half. Right? I'm so disappointed about the objection causing that delay, to be honest. It caused me not to be able to buy it. I mean, I could have waited another half year, but if you wait another half year, the prices may increase again. Even if the land price is reasonable, your overall price may increase again, right? There's a chance for it to be higher than Penrith. I am using Penrith as example because Penrith is also ASEA. Okay, actually Zion Grand is also ASEA. Okay, the starting price might be higher than Penrith as well, and Zion Grand as well, right? Because Zion Grand starting price is like 2685, close to 2.7. So Thomson View, I don't know. I think it may be higher than that. Because it has even better factors, right? I mean, you have your top primary school, you have shopping mall, you have your MRT. It's all there. Penrith doesn't have a good primary school. No shopping mall, right? Zion Grand, shopping mall, yeah. MRT, yes. Primary school, not as top per se as Aitong. So that's another factor. So yes, let's see what the entry price will be. This is definitely a project to keep your eye on. I'm very sure this is going to be one of those cases where the project is like 90+% sold for sure. Unless the internal part of it is too bad, it is done too badly. Otherwise, this is going to be definitely one of the top few launches of 2026, if not the top. All right, let's move on to talking about the second half of 2026. What to look out for per se. Okay, so if you look at the blue highlights, those are the ones that I think have potential and will be launching in the second half of 2026. Now, those that I did not highlight doesn't necessarily mean that they don't have potential, but I'll probably talk about them more when we have more details. Now, what I can think of is like the Dorset Road. Dorset Road may have some potential, but may not be as significant as the ones in blue. Likewise for Holland Link. Okay. Now, the ones in blue, I'm just quickly going to talk about them. Just a quick one. So Lakeside Drive, that is the one that I always mention, right? The 1132 PSI PPR one. The one that's only slightly cheaper than Penrith. So this one is actually right beside the Lakeside MRT station. It's within 1 km to Rural as well. So I think definitely has potential to be one of a good performing project. Not to mention it's an OCR, so capital appreciation wise, you are surrounded by HDB upgraders. There's also a few condos there as well, the older condos. So you have your private upgrader pool as well. Now, Woodlands Drive 17, this is relatively near to MRT station and it's an EC. The only thing is that I think the expressway noise will be there for SLE. But yeah, let's talk about this more in detail, more details. And Chencharu Close as well. And Chencharu Close, it's not too bad based on what I can see. Because although it's in Kaptik, right? But there are more transformation coming for Kaptik area, right? Although, okay, government announced maybe it's Kranji, not Kaptik. But this Chencharu Close, as far as I can see, it may have some potential, but remains to be seen. Okay. Now, next is Upper Thomson A. This is the plot of land that is right beside Springleaf. It was open for tender previously, and there were no bids, so they closed, and then Springleaf happened. So now, this actually have a healthy amount of bids already. I think it was like 5 bids if I didn't remember wrongly. So it was like 1062 PSF PPR, right? So this particular plot of land, the reason why it had no bids previously was because there was service apartment. Now without service apartment, you have your bids already, especially with Springleaf's performance. So and on top of that, Springleaf is going to help you cushion the impact of the expressway, right? So there's some plus point to this, and this is a mixed development. In fact, this is an integrated development because it's integrated with the MRT station. So there's MRT station at the doorstep, and then there's going to be a commercial component to it. And opposite of you is the shop houses where you have your like Spring Prata, etc. So yeah, this Upper Thomson Road A may have some potential as well. And obviously the two Trunk Grove plots that are very near to the Trunk Park. And what else? Let's see. Dunyan Road. Okay, this Dunyan Road plot, I am a little on the fence because I find that it's a little too far from the whole Plus 50 transformation. But at the same time, it's close to the main road, but not as near to the MRTs. So a lot of pros and cons to be weighed for this project, and we'll have to see when we get more details. Lah. Now, Telok Blangah Road, okay, actually this particular GLS, right, I really like it, but it's unfortunate that the developer is Kingsford. Because I really like this plot of land. It's actually decent walking distance to the Telok Blangah MRT station, the Circle Line. And it's also in Telok Blangah area, right? So Telok Blangah, there's a lot of $1 million HPB too. It's considered as part of the Bukit Merah HPB enclave or estate. So yeah, we have to see lah. We have to see how the enterprise will be for this Telok Blangah plot of land, and relatively close to Vivo as well. So yeah, in fact, of all the plots that I highlighted in blue, Chencharu may be the one that I'm least confident about in terms of its potential. But it's okay lah. If you look at the plot of land, I think still doable. But Khatib as a MRT itself, not very ideal. The Khatib MRT station. But okay, you have North-South corridor in future. So may have potential. Not necessarily like the best project, but may have potential. Yeah. So like I said, right, the blue plots are those with potential. Okay. And I've already mentioned like my top few, I already given two, right? You have Pinery and the Thomson View condo. Okay, and I think River Modern, if the entry price is good, is definitely one of the good projects as well. If the entry price is good. Yeah, very important. Although upgrader pool, you do not have a huge HDB upgrader pool, but you do have a lot of private upgrader pools. Upgraders. Yeah. Okay, and then obviously Bayshore Road. Again, depending on the entry price, it's so expensive, just like Condos. Okay, that brings us to the end of today's video. I hope you have enjoyed all the information and insights I've shared with regards to the upcoming new launcher for the year 2026. And if any of the projects catch your eye, remember to contact me at this number so that I can help you with your next purchase. When we get a smart choice home purchase, make sure that the property analytics, the financials, everything are well taken care of, as well as the preparation for launch day itself, as I've showed in my previous videos with regards to like in terms of the price, elevation chart, etc., the estimates. Okay, so anyway, I hope you have enjoyed this video. Thanks everyone for watching, and remember to like and subscribe if you find the video helpful. Okay, bye.